Now that we have a decent setup, I will show more of the Biomes component. As I've already shown you, I've set up 4 biomes for my map. However, as seen in the drawing, this allows radically different biomes to be next to each other, like the desert and the snowy biome. This can be solved by inserting more biomes, let's say 9. For example, like this. Maybe you could even get inspiration from Earth's biomes, or invent your own fantastical ones. But let's return to our 4 biome setup. To get the biomes blend together a little better, we could overlap the ranges, something like this. This is really easy with these little buttons here. I'll hit the plus a couple of times, so the ranges will have a 0.02 overlap. Then I'll check the result. This is a little bit nicer, however, the colors at the biome's edges became a little strange, but I'll handle it when I make some final adjustments to the effects I've used. Some other settings are available for our biomes I didn't talk about before, such as biome offset, which shifts the biomes on the X and Y axis, and no biome found. This setting tells the component if a biome was not found for a particular tile, what should it do? This won't happen if there are no gaps in the biome ranges. However, if there are gaps, those can still be handled. With estimate, the component will assign the last biome it associated with a tile. Or we could assign a specific or a random biome to it. But the most interesting would be the Use Other Biomes option. This lets you assign a different biome asset with totally different settings to pick through the gap. So stacking biomes is a thing. However, I will let you experiment with it. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'll just leave it on estimate. I will show you one more thing, how to build on top of the biomes. For example, add mountains, chasms and other features that are not limited by biomes. This time I will be quick, since every step is the same, it only needs one extra thing to be done to the new effects in order to achieve this. But first let me just put all my effects into an effect stack. I'll create one by right-clicking on my folder, choosing Create, VamporiumMAP and Effect Stack. Then I'll add all my effects to it like so. Then empty the effect list in the map component and add my new stack to it. This way all my effects are organized and can be switched easily with another effect stack. Now that we are done with this, let's make a chasm for our map. To achieve this, I will prepare 2 effects, one for the elevation of the chasm and one for the coloration. The elevation effect will be the simple one because I don't want biomes to affect it. For the mode, I will create a new formulas value and set up a really simple noise. Hitting generate, you can spot 3 things that has to be taken care of. First of all, the map is elevated upwards. This is more like a mountain chain rather than a chasm, but we will fix this later. Our second problem is that this elevation overrides the other elevation I set up before. I will handle it a bit later, for now it is more simple to set the chasm up this way. And the third problem is that our chasm is too uniform, so I'll add another simplex noise to jag it up a bit. It's much better now. I will also raise the effect's power so the elevation is more prominent. Now we can make the vertex coloring effect, so I will add one. This will be the one without the biome support as well, for the same reason. I don't want it to be affected by any biomes. If you want, of course, you can make it so it has different colors for each biome, but I'll keep it simple now. I will tell the effect to apply itself on the tiles based on their elevation by creating a new tile elevation value. I will set up a really simple color gradient here. Then I set the tile elevations limits to -5 and 1 because the majority of the affected tiles will be underneath 0 on the y-axis. Previewing it, you can see this effect also overrides the coloring of the entire map. So let's fix the overrides now. In the elevation effect, I'll check merge. By doing this, I am presented with a merging mode. The default add mode will create mountains, so I will choose the subtract this mode. As you can see, this will create the chasm and the two elevation effects will be merged correctly. In the vertex color effect, I will also check merge. This will ask me, how do I want to merge it, so I will give it the value I used in the elevation effect. All I have to do now is hit generate and see the result. Just for fun, I could make the very bottom tiles to look like lava. But now I have another problem. As you can see, the trees and cacti are generated even inside of the chasms. This is easily solved by masking the spawning layers with the value of the chasms. So let's do that for the cacti. I'll add the chasm elevation value in the mask field, but this will not work for us, since it masks it the wrong way. Now we have cacti only inside the chasms. What I could do is duplicate the chasm elevation value and remap it, but this way if I adjust the chasm's elevation value, I will need to update the mask as well. So there is another solution. I'll use the combine floats value. I will create a new one. Then I will set up the chasm elevation value as a module. Then checking this box, I will have access to a value remapping curve. Inverting this curve, I've created an inverted mask from the elevation, and now if I'll adjust the chasm elevation, the mask will be automatically changed as well. As you can see, now we have no cacti in the chasms. Great! Now let's do this to the trees as well. But wait, we've already used the mask for the trees, but fear not. We have a solution to this one too. Actually, this is the same solution, so I'll duplicate the cacti mask, rename it, add the current forest mask to it as a new module, and set the combining mode to multiply. The only thing I need to do is to give this newly created value to the spawn object's forest module as mask, replacing the current one. Hitting generate now, we can see there are no trees in the chasm. I also promised I'll handle the strange coloring at the edge of the biomes. This is a rather simple solution. In the biomes vertex color, I set the smoothing mode to bleeding average and I'm done. There we go. We have a map with biomes, forests and chasms. The same way you could create mountains, riverbeds, cliffs, settlements and so on. There's also a way to generate this map endlessly as we work on it. Learn about this and more in the other tutorial videos. Further information can be found in the assets documentation. You can also check out the other tutorials, links in the description.